I have a bunch of colored pencils. I actually haven't even counted them yet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 12 or 13 different colored pencils. Some of them are the same brand, but there are at least 10 different brands here, and I want to decide which one's the best, just based off price. Oh, they're not in there. The Prismacolor are pretty much the most expensive colored pencil that I own right now. So I think these are the best, but I don't know why, besides the fact that they cost more. So we should try them out and see exactly why they're the best, if they are, and what other colored pencils stack up. So, let me show you what I got. Art Tech. Cra-Z-Art. Classic. Crayola. Actually, that's the classic. Everyone knows a Crayola. Sargent Art, which I actually use a lot. At least I have. RoseART. This no-name brand, artist quality. I think it's like, Leisure Arts. Might be like a Walmart brand. Bright Ideas Studio Series, but it has like no labeling on it. This just says rich, vibrant colored pencils. They were on sale, looks like. Okay, last but not least, color shaders. For that kid in your life who wants to color a puppy. Paint by numbers or something. I don't know. Yeah, pretty much, actually. Art skills. I mean, I have it, so why not? We'll throw that in there. And last but not least, the Holy Grail. Just kidding. The fancy schmancy Prismacolor. Now, I know there are fancier ones than that. That's the most expensive one I have. So that's what we got. We're gonna give them a taste, not a taste test. Oh, Ford. Anyway, let's get started. I made this little sheet in Illustrator to run a few tests on all of these colored pencils. So I started with the cheapest colored pencil and worked my way down to the most expensive. And just ran 3 basic tests, which is by no means extensive or comprehensive. But I wanted to test what one layer of color looks like, so the lightest shade possible, what as many layers as possible to get the darkest color might look like, and then the third test being just a range of values from dark to light, doing a sort of gradient. What I didn't realize with this first set until I started using it was that it is a watercolor colored pencil, and somehow the cheapest, so that was really cool. It looks like it was on sale at Ross, but you also can get it from Walmart. Probably a bunch of other places. And I have used colored pencils with watercolor in the past, and they're really cool. Basically, maybe you already know, but you can color them and then put water over it and kind of blend it. And they work really cool. As far as just being a colored pencil, because that was the test I did here, I didn't add any water. They worked okay, and they were inexpensive, and it's cool that you can also use them as watercolored pencils. So that was the first test. And I'm just realizing that I think I got them at an extremely discounted price, so that's my total at the end is probably not a common price. But anyway, for 22 pencils at $3.99 for this sale price, that is $18 per pencil, and I think that was a great deal. Worked good. The next one I tried here are these good old-fashioned color shaders. Quite fun. The pencils are smaller, so they won't last as long, and it comes with this colored paper, so you can, it's like a coloring book. Just sheets of paper that have numbers on them. These were the lightest of the bunch. Well, I guess that could be in both senses. They were smaller pencils, so they are light to hold. But they didn't go down as dark as the other colored pencils either. No matter how many layers I got on this one, it almost paled in comparison to basically all the other colored pencils. So I think it's last on the list as far as darkest shades go. So that was this one. It comes with 52 colored pencils at $4.97, which is 10 cents a pencil. Plus it comes with paper. So that was kind of cool. The next colored pencil up on the docket is, what is a docket? I don't even know what that comes from. Cra-Z-Art colored pencils. These are, I think, a common brand and pretty standard stuff. I realized that choosing yellow was probably not very fair to Cra-Z-Art because it is a lighter color anyway. That being said, I feel like I was still able to layer it enough to get a pretty rich color, so I still am satisfied with it. However, the lead was a little soft, or maybe a little hard. I actually don't know what causes it, but it chipped off a little bit as I was coloring it. Which actually happened with the Art Skills pencils too, now that I think about it. I forgot to mention that. Maybe even worse with the Art Skill pencils. So maybe the harder the lead, the more it can break off like that. And yeah, that wasn't great. So maybe that's a mark against Cra-Z-Art, but other than that fact that it chips off a little bit, it's still layered pretty good, and you know, not a bad colored pencil. At 72 pencils for $5.97 makes it 8 cents a pencil, which is the cheapest of the 10 pencils that I tried. So killer deal, right? Next on the list are these Leisure Arts colored pencils. I believe, from what I've seen, this brand can come in different packaging. It is a fairly cheap brand. And yeah, this is the next one we're doing here. I did, by the way, look up what docket means. Basically means list. It says a calendar or list of cases for a trial, or a document or label listing the contents of a package or delivery. But basically it means a list. So I learned something, you know, that's great. This one, when you layer it, like, there still is some lighter spots. It's not like a perfect layering pencil, but you can get nice rich colors through layering. So it works pretty good and at a fair cost. Oh, and unlike the last two colored pencils, the lead didn't break or chip at all as I was coloring on this one, so it held up a little bit better. I guess that's because it was a softer lead. This pack comes with 48 colored pencils at $6.97, which makes it 15 cents each. Let's move on. Next up, we have Crayola. Now, I know that Crayola is definitely like the go-to brand for crayons. I don't know. Actually, I don't know why I say that. I don't use crayons a lot. But, you know, in school, I remember most of my crayons were Crayolas. And I feel like they are the better crayon. However, I have mixed feelings about how good of a colored pencil they are. I'm going to say yes. I'm going to say of the cheaper brand, they are probably the best. But what's interesting for me is that on the light test, where I just did one layer, the colored pencil marks almost look like crayon marks. They have some inconsistency that are common with crayons. They're not as fine of lines. That was an interesting tidbit. I don't know. Still a good colored pencil. And I will say, out of these ones so far, it did layer the best, I think. It was pretty dark from the get-go, but it layered even darker and darker, which was nice. I think that means that kind of indicates to me that's a pretty good quality. The darker you can get, the better. Yeah, my hands started getting tired at this point, as you can tell. These Crayola pencils came with 50 in this box at a sale price of $6.97, meaning it's 14 cents a pencil. Now, according to the Walmart website, that was a sale price, so I don't know if that was just clever marketing or if they are usually more than that. But at the sale price, it's a great deal. General, all-around good colored pencil. Next up, we have Sargent Art. And it comes in a package like this. Although I will say, and this is probably the case for a lot of these colored pencils, you can buy them in all sorts of varieties. I personally have a different set of these, which comes in a case that I like better. But I do use this brand a lot. So, and it kind of is the middle of the road price-wise. I don't know if it's just the branding that made me choose to use these ones out of all the ones I have, but I have used this colored pencil brand the most. I think that they're decent. After running this test, though, they don't layer quite as good as even the Crayola one. I think they just don't get as dark. They don't fill in as much as they could. Kind of interesting. I didn't expect that, because I use these ones a lot and I like them. I just had never compared them with something else before. So this pack came with 50 colored pencils at $9.95, meaning it is 20 cents a pencil. And I have a feeling that maybe I won't be using this brand as much as I have in the past, but who knows? Let's move on. Next up is RoseART, coming with a whopping 72 in one pack. This colored pencil, this was a surprising contender. Now, there's a big gap between this one and then the last three as far as price goes. So this is like the last of the cheapest ones, and it performs really good. It can get really dark. The layers are quite effective, very rich colors. With these packs that I have, it turns out to be cheaper per pencil than Sargent Art, and I think stands head and shoulders above Sargent Art as far as quality goes. The darks are just darker, and so this may be one of my new favorite colored pencils. I was a little surprised by that, so let me know what you think. Have you used this brand before, and what do you think of them? If you haven't, I would suggest trying them out. Not too expensive, and I think they just work quite well. This pack had 72 colored pencils at $12.86, but because of how many you get, that is 18 cents a pencil, which is actually cheaper than Sargent Art, like I mentioned, so good choice. The next one here is Studio Series. These ones are really unique. I don't like the case. The case is terrible because if you have it upside down, then the pencils don't fit in their little unique cubby slots, whatever you want to call it. And so they fall around pretty easily if it's upside down. And it's hard to open because it's those clamshell, they like pop open and then the colored pencils go flying. You can imagine it's not good on the case, but that's okay. The colored pencils were brilliant. I mean, they worked great. Darks were great. The shading was great. And the coolest thing that, oh man, this was so unique. These pencils are super light. Almost feel like you're holding a piece of bamboo or feather. I don't know, not a feather, but they were quite a different feeling in your hand. I don't know, maybe it can reduce cramping because you don't have to like grip it so tightly. I don't know, that's just speculation. Okay, but other than that, like they worked great. They're just a little bit more expensive, but it does come with an eraser and a pencil sharpener, so maybe that extra price is worth it because those are very useful when you're coloring. It's very easy to wear down your lead and to need to sharpen your pencil, so it's good to have one of those handy. This one comes with 30 colored pencils at $12.88, which is 43 cents a pencil, but that doesn't account for the eraser and the sharpener. So I still think it's a great deal because of those extra items. All right. Yep. That was the most satisfying box to open. Just very smooth, oh, man. Should we watch that again? Let's watch that again. It just pop and whoosh. Yes, the most user-friendly box, hands down. I don't know, I get hung up on how cool these boxes are. Let's talk about the pencils. So the Bright Idea pencils, these are a little bit higher quality and it shows. Just like the Studio Series, they layer well, they're comfortable to use, and they just are rich quality. Yeah, they're effective. So I had fun using these ones. I guess the downsides would be it doesn't come with a pencil sharpener and there aren't as many colors to choose from. They come in 3 different boxes. You can get metallic colored pencils, neon colored pencils, or bright colored pencils. Each is a set of 10, or you can get a 36 set, which comes with 6 extra colored pencils plus the aforementioned ones. So there are a variety, but just not as many. So if you get this brand in the 36 pack, it is $17.50, 49 cents each. But they work really well, they're good quality. But I just love the packaging for these 10 count boxes. Yeah. This is the 10th and final colored pencil, the Prismacolor. This case is tin. It seems to be nice, good quality, but if it gets dented a little bit like mine is, the lid does not always stay on very good. And so I have many a times had it fall open and, had to pick up the sticks with all my colored pencils. But it does come with a pencil sharpener and even with some little pastel things. I think they are. I actually haven't even used them, but a bunch of colored pencils. And these colors are so rich and dark, I was able to color these bubbles in really fast. The layering was like minimal and the colors were very bright and had a good range. So I think really that's probably a big reason why these are most expensive, because they just go down easily and go down bright, dark, whatever you want. So yeah, they were great. For 48 pencils, this package is $32.92, coming to 69 cents per pencil, which, I mean, not too expensive considering how many pencils you get and how good a quality they are. So now I know why Prismacolor is so expensive. Anyway, here is all the results all together. What surprised me the most is there really wasn't huge differences between them all. They were all decent colored pencils. Yes, they had their pros and cons here and there, as I've mentioned, but they all color, and that's what they need to do. So it was neat to see the differences and to test them all out. And now I know which one is my favorite. Probably Prismacolor, and then Bright Ideas because of that box. But RoseART are a good go-to for quality and fairly inexpensive. Crayola work too. So I guess those would be my top 4. I like how Studio Series were really light, but that didn't really change the overall quality of the pencil in any way. They were just kind of unique. That's all of them. Here's the prices in the notes just for the quick summary for you all. Let me know what you think. Hopefully this helps and you can find something you like and you can have fun coloring. Because I believe it's important to do things you enjoy. And remember to smile.